Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning everyone. How are you today? I hope we always in a good condition and a good mood as well. Alright, first of all, let's us give thanks to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala who has given us the opportunity to meet at this meeting today. And also, I would like to say thanks to Mr. Fuad who has given us the opportunity to present today's material. And before we go to the presentation, let me introduce myself first. My name is Andini Salma Afifah, with my students number are 2021222033. And in this presentation, I won't be alone because I would be accompanied by my partners. There are Nadya Sri Astuti Anwar with her students number are 2021222017. Aina Amalia Izzati with her students number are 2021222022. Tita Ayuningtyas with her students number are 2021222028. And last, Annisa Nur Islamiati with her students number are 2021222038. Alright, in this presentation, we will talk about theme and rhyme. First of all, do you know what is theme and rhyme? Alright, in English, where we put information in a clause that tell us about where the clause is coming from and where it is going to. In English clauses, there are 2 points of prominence, the beginning and the end. The beginning of a clause is where we put information which links the clause to what has come before. For example, we find conjunction at the beginning of clauses because they provide a logical link with what has come before. We also find information about the topic of the clause or what the clause is about. In this case, we call it as theme and rhyme. In English, the theme can be identified as that or those elements which comes first in the clause. This represents the point of departure of this message from the previous one. The rest of the clause is called the rhyme. New information is typically contained in the rhyme. Theme is broadly speaking what the clause is going to be about, or in terms of theme and rhyme, theme is represent this is what I'm talking about, and the rhyme is this is what I'm saying about. Jadi secara sederhananya dalam sebuah klausa dalam bahasa Inggris itu theme berperan sebagai topik dari pembahasan yang ada dalam klausa tersebut. Sedangkan rhyme merupakan informasi baru yang menunjukkan atau yang menjadi konten dari apa yang dibahas di dalam klausa tersebut. For example, I come from down in the valley. We find that I at the beginning tell us that this clause is about me. That is what we are talking about. And this is the theme of the clause or the topic of the clause because we are talking about I or about me. The new information in the clause is down in the valley. And in this case, it could be a prepositional phrase because it realizing a circumstance and comes at the end. This is a rhyme of the clause because this information comes after the topic and tells about I or about me. Alright, for the next explanation, there is types of themes. It will be delivered by one of my partners, Nadya Sri Astuti Anwar. Okay, without any further ado, Nadya, time is yours.
Alright, thank you to the moderator who has invited me to this presentation. My name is Nadya Sri Astuti Anwar with students number 20212201 and 7. In this video, I would like to explain about types of theme, ideational and textual themes. The ideational or topical themes is usually but not always the first nominal group in the clause. Topical themes may also be nominal group complexes, adverbial groups, prepositional phrases, or embedded clauses. The topical themes is the first element in the clause that expresses some kind of representational meaning, yang artinya identitas atau topik dari klausa muncul di awal klausa, menduduki satu transitivity yaitu a participant, a circumstances, and a process. Topical theme adalah unsur suatu klausa yang menempati posisi awal dan diberi fungsi transitivity di dalam. Misalnya dalam contoh subjek dan sekaligus actor, I merupakan theme di dalam klausa sedangkan sisanya adalah Rheme dalam klausa tersebut. Lalu di dalam topical theme ada yang dinamakan unmarked and marked. In the unmarked case, the topical theme is also the subject, and a topical theme that is not the subject is called marked topical theme. I will give some examples. Unmarked topical themes, nominal group as theme. Jake went up the hill. Jake di sini sebagai theme karena sudah jelas. Jake di sini adalah subjek. Went up the hill sebagai Rheme. Nominal group complex as theme. Jack and Jill went up the hill. Jack and Jill di sini sebagai theme dan went up the hill sebagai Rheme. Lalu embedded clause, what Jack and Jill did was go up the hill. What Jack and Jill did di sini sebagai theme dan was go up the hill sebagai Rheme. Selanjutnya, mark topical themes. Adverbial as theme. Down Jack fell. Down di sini sebagai theme and Jack fell sebagai Rheme. Prepositional phrase as theme. Up the hill Jack and Jill went. Up the hill di sini sebagai theme and Jack and Jill went sebagai Rheme. And the last one, his crown he broke. His crown di sini sebagai theme dan he broke sebagai Rheme. The theme of a clause extends to and includes the topical theme. Therefore, elements which precede the topical theme are also thematic, but elements which come after the topical theme are not. Nah, apa sih perbedaan unmarked theme dan marked theme dalam klausa? Perbedaan antara unmarked theme dan marked theme tampaknya terlihat pada apakah kalimat tersebut mengandung unsur yang dapat digabungkan dengan subjek tata bahasa atau tidak. Contoh, Kinan said the van was moving. This is an unmarked theme. Why? Karena sudah sangat jelas Kinan di situ adalah sebagai subjek. Kinan could be the subject as much as the van. Both are people or things in the world. Lain halnya dengan it looks like the van was moving. Kita sudah pasti mengatakan ini adalah marked theme because it look like di situ is not a proper subject. Next, textual themes. Textual themes relate the clause to its context. Textual themes is elements which don't express any interpersonal or experiential meaning, but which are doing important cohesive work in relating the clause to its context. Yang artinya textual themes ini tidak termasuk topical atau interpersonal theme, tapi menentukan secara signifikan makna suatu klausa dengan menghubungkannya dengan klausa lain. Textual themes are made up of continuatives like yeah, right, well, dan yang lainnya. Lalu coordination like and, or, but, dan lain-lain. Subordination like when, because, if, dan lain-lain. Relative like which, dan yang terakhir conjunctive adjunct, which are adverbial groups or prepositional phrases that link one part of discourse to another, like in other words, actually, as a result, dan lain-lain. One difference is that conjunctive adjunct are more free to move in a clause, whereas conjunction are pretty well restricted to being at the beginning. Conjunction tend to provide textual themes within a clause complex and are called structural themes. Conjunctive adjunct, on the other hand, tend to, but don't always, join text outside of clause complexes. They tend to have more of a text organizing function. and continuatives are a small set of items which, if they are there, are always at the beginning of the class and signal that a new mode is beginning. For examples, 1. Write. What we need to do today is revise for our test. Write di sini sebagai continuatives, what we need to do today sebagai topical theme, and is revise for our test sebagai Rheme. This relates to the context of speaking in that they signal to the listener that someone is about to start, resume, or continue speaking. Conjunctives relate the clause to the preceding text by providing a logical link between the message. Next, 2. Well, on the other hand, we could wait. Well di sini sebagai continuatives, on the other hand sebagai conjunctive, we sebagai topical theme, and could wait sebagai Rheme. Likewise, conjunction almost always occur at the beginning of a clause and carry the logio-semantic relation between clauses. And the last one, 3. Well, on the other hand, if we wait until Tuesday. Well di sini sebagai continuatives, on the other hand sebagai conjunctive, if sebagai structural themes, we sebagai topical themes, and wait until Tuesday sebagai Rheme.
Alright, here I will give you the other examples of textual theme. This is a plot. We can see that it is comprised of 2 marked clauses. But beginning with the themes underlined, this is the first clause is a marked topical theme with a prepositional phrase. But the theme of the second clause, however, this is serve to link the 2 clauses together. This is called a textual theme.
So that's all for me. I hope all of you is understand what I explained about types of themes. I'm sorry if I have a mistake. Back to moderator.
Alright, thank you so much for Nadya for the great explanation. And the next material will be delivered by Tita Ayuningtyas. Tita, time is yours.
Alright, thank you to the moderator for allowing me to explain the material. Now I would like to continue to explain the material about interpersonal themes and clause as theme in a clause complex. Before that, let me introduce myself. My name is Tita Sandika. My student's number is 2021222028. Alright, now I'm going to explain the first material, that is interpersonal elements. Interpersonal elements occurring before the topical theme are also thematic. They may be modal agents such as maybe, perhaps, and usually. Vocatives is when you call somebody's name to indicate that you are talking to that person. And finite or WH elements. But if it comes after a topical theme, it becomes a Rheme. The example sentence of modal agent is perhaps we can wait until next week. Here, the word perhaps is put at the beginning of the sentence. It is considered that the modal agent, the interpersonal theme, because it comes before the topical theme. We as topical theme and can wait until next week as Rheme. The example sentence of vocatives is Mary, we decided to wait until next week. Mary as vocatives, we as topical theme, and decided to wait until next week as Rheme. In the clause below, the person's name is not used as a vocative, therefore it is topical and not interpersonal. For example, the first clause is Mary decided to wait until next week. Mary as topical theme, decided to wait until next week as Rheme. Second, anyway, Mary, we decided to wait until next week. Anyway as continuative, Mary as vocative theme, we as topical, decided to wait until next week as Rheme. Third, Mary, didn't we decide to wait until next week? Mary as vocative interpersonal, didn't as finite, we as topical, decided to wait until next week as Rheme. And last, but Mary, surely we can wait until next week. But as conjunction textual, Mary as vocative interpersonal, surely as modal interpersonal, we as topical, can wait until next week as Rheme. The maximum possible theme in a clause would be something like, well, but alternatively, Mary surely wouldn't the best thing be to wait? Well, as continuative textual, but as structure text, alternatively as conjunction textual, Mary as vocative interpersonal, surely as modal interpersonal, wouldn't as finite interpersonal, the best thing as topical, and the last is be to wait as Rheme. Next, I will explain about clause as theme in a clause complex. In a hypothetical clause complex, if the dependent clause comes first, then the dependent clause is treated as the theme for the whole clause complex. Here we divide a sentence into two clauses. The first clause is if the dependent clause comes first as a theme, and the second clause then it is the theme for the whole clause complex as Rheme. Each clauses have its own theme Rheme structure. The first clause is the dependent clause come first. If as structure, the dependent clause as topical and come first as Rheme. The second clause is then it is the theme for the whole clause complex. Then it as structure is the theme for the whole clause complex as topical and Rheme. Well, that's all from me. I'll give it back to the moderator. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tita, for your great and clear explanation. And for the next material, it will be delivered by Aina, Amalia, Izzati. Without any further ado, Aina, time is yours.
Alright, thank you moderator for the opportunity. My name is Aina Amalia Izzati with my student's number is 2021222022. Here I will explain the material about thematic equatives and predicated themes. And then the first material is thematic equatives. According to Lipson 2004, in thematic equative, the clause has two constituents linked by a relational process, and the theme is usually in the form of WH cleft. It is said as a thematic equative since the theme of the clause and the element of the Rheme is equated and their place can be changed to each other. And then the theme and Rheme have the relational process identifying. They occur in certain identifying clauses where the theme and Rheme are equated with each other. And then they almost always involve nominalization. Now let's take a look for the example. What we wanted to do was wait until next week. So, the theme of the clause is what we wanted to do in the form of WH cleft and is related by a relational process to the Rheme. And then the Rheme of the clause is was wait until next week. However, we can also change the position of the Rheme to act as the theme of the clause, which it can be was wait until next week is what we want. And now that becomes the theme of the clause. Alright, the second material is predicated themes. The predication is aimed at emphasizing a constituent. The form predicated theme can be seen by the use of the word it in the clause. These are taken from it plus be. Let's take a look for the example. It was the lecturers who made the decision. The word it wants to serve the lecturers as the news in the clause, in which if we make the clause as an ordinary clause, then the lecturers serves as theme and given information in the clause and remains unemphatic. And then predicating clause, it was the lecturers, is assumed as the theme of the entire clause, and who made the decision is the Rheme of the entire clause. Alright, let's take a look for another example. It was suggested who they wait. Alright, it was suggested is assumed as the theme of the entire clause, and then who they wait, the word who as a structural, they as a top, and wait is a Rheme. So it means the clause who they wait is a Rheme of the entire clause. Alright, that's all for me. I go back to moderator.
Thank you so much, Aina, for your explanation. And the next material, it would be delivered by Annisa Nur Islamiati. For Annisa, time is yours.
Well, thank you to the moderator for giving me an opportunity to deliver the material about theme in imperatives, theme in exclamative, and the theme components. But before I deliver the material, let me introduce myself. I'm Annisa Nur Islamiati with ID number 2021W2038. Alright, without any further ado, let's go to the material. And for the first one is about theme in imperatives or kalimat perintah, like close the door, turn on the TV, put the bowl on the table, and etc. And there are two ways of treating theme in imperative clause, either as Rheme only or treat the process as theme. Alright, let's compare both of these clauses. For the first one, write your name in the upper right-hand corner as the Rheme only. When we give a command or ask somebody to do something by using imperatives, there is a hidden participant, whether it is you or maybe someone's name or others in the beginning. So is this clause. In this clause, there is a hidden participant. Let's say you. So the clause becomes you write your name in the upper right-hand corner. The hidden you is the theme, and write your name in the upper right-hand corner is the Rheme. And the second one, write your name in the upper right-hand corner where right is the theme, the topical theme. Why? Because write is a process, a mental process, and one of the requirements to become a topical theme is it has to be a participant or a process or a circumstance. Shortly, in imperative, the first word or the first verb is the topical theme. And then your name in the upper right-hand corner is the Rheme. And now we can see that the rationale of treating the process as theme if we look at a text that is orientated towards doing, such as a set of these instructions. 1. Plug the flags into a 240-volt AC outlet. The plug is a theme, and then the next clause is a Rheme. Number 2. Switch the power on. Switch is a theme, and then the power on is a Rheme. Last, push the button on the control panel. Push is the theme, and the next clause is a Rheme. And here the focus is on the doing, not on who is doing it. Next is theme in exclamative. This consists of WH element plus either a nominal group or an adverbial group. Jadi, theme dalam exclamative clause itu mengandung WH elements such as what, when, how, etc. yang diikuti dengan bentuk adverbial atau nominal. For example, What a beautiful day it is. What a beautiful day is a theme, and it is a rhyme. What a beautiful day mengandung WH element yaitu what, and then adverbial group is a beautiful day. Next, how divinely he dances. How divinely is a theme and he dances is a rhyme. How divinely consists of WH element yaitu how, and then adverbial group is divinely. And the last is components of theme or theme components. For the first one is textual. There are continuative such as well, okay, etc. And then structural such as conjunction or WH relative. And then conjunctive adjunct. And for the second one, interpersonal. There are modal, adjunct, finite, and WH interrogative. And the last, for ideational, there is topical, such as subject, complement, or circumstantial adjunct. And that's all from me. Thank you for your attention. I give it back to the moderator.
Thank you so much, Annisa, for your great explanation. And for the last material, it will be delivered by me, or Andini sama Afifah. And without any further ado, let's get to the material. Alright, for the last material is about themes and tags. We have already suggested that dependent clauses are hypothetical, which precede the independent clause, and they modify are considered thematic in the clause complex. Another extension of the principle of theme is to the topic sentences of paragraph. We could look at the topic sentence of the paragraph or extend it further by regarding the introductory paragraph. For example, regarding the introductory of an expository essay as the theme and as the theme of an essay, we find here that the same pattern repeated on different scales, but the proportional relationship hold. Jadi bisa diinterpretasikan seperti ini. Apabila di dalam klausa itu topik utamanya adalah disebut theme, sementara di dalam paragraf topik utamanya maksud saya disebut topic sentences. Sementara di dalam essay topik utama atau topik yang dibahas itu disebut introduction. Seperti itu. Alright, next is theme and information. Another important aspect of how text develop is through the interaction of theme and new information. According to Halliday, the information unit is a structure made up of two functions, the new and the given. And in the idealized from each information unit consists of a given element accompanied by a new element. The way this structure is realized is essentially natural in two respects. Or we can say the new is marked by prominence and the given typically precede the new. So once information has been presented in a text, it is then available to be developed. Those information can either be picked up as a theme or it can be accumulated as a new. For example, this example is taken from the song which by Rheme. The title is Finishing Touches. Number 1, I am getting tired of you. I is as a theme and you is you here as a new. Number 2, you are getting tired of me. You here is as a theme and me over here as a new. And last, it's the final actor of our little tragedy. We can see here it as a theme and the final actor of our little tragedy as a new. In the text above, the participants are introduced in the first line, or in other words, the singer is as a theme and the addressee is as a new. And in the second line, the positions are reversed And in the final line, it all summarizes information in the previous lines as it, and it represents this as a theme, then using a relational identifying process. It adds in new information which also summarizes the previous text using our as a possessive deictic to include the participant and the final act in normalized form. To reformulate all the previous information as new. Maybe that's all I can explain. Back to the moderator. Alright, thank you so much for all the presenters who has presented their presentations really great. And maybe that's all we can explain to you. We're really sorry if we have lots of mistakes from this presentation, and I hope we can get the benefits of these presentations really well. Last words for me. Thank you so much for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.